1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Niranjan Abesundara. It has been revealed that it's a conspiracy propagating that there is no chemical fertilizer in the country. The government is not ready to import rice. The GCE A-level examination will be held in October. The government has spent more than 260 billion rupees to eradicate the corona pandemic. Vaccination program for senior citizens commences. And in world news, outbreaks emerge across Australia in new phase of the pandemic. Minister Mahindananda Arutukamage say it is a conspiracy propagating that there is no chemical fertilizer in the country. It is clear that this is not a move to solve the problems of the farmers. The government has no intention to import rice. The minister engaged in a tour in Polonnaruwa and Batikalo area to observe the interests of the farmers on organic fertilizer cultivation. The government has given a fertilizer subsidy for 20,000 acres in the Arnaganville area. Minister Dr. Bandhu Gunawardena said the rice will not be imported if rice is sold at government-certified prices. The aim of the Saubhagya Dakma program is not to import rice, but rice is selling in the market at high prices, putting the consumers into difficulties. It has been revealed that some paddy mill owners are hiding paddy stocks in order to create a rice shortage in the country. Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Professor Kapila Pereira, said that the GCE advanced examination for this year will be held in October. The Ministry of Finance said that the government has spent 260 billion rupees to eradicate the corona pandemic since March last year. These finances have been spent for the PCR and antigen tests and to construct treatment centers for COVID patients. Finance will also be spent to purchase medical equipment and corona vaccine. The Government Medical Officers Association says that the vaccination program for senior citizens will begin in main hospitals in the island from today. Vaccination program will be speeded up in the future. Sri Lanka today will commence genetic analysis research on the coronavirus variants that have been identified in the country. Research will be carried out with the data provided by the epidemiological unit of the Ministry of Health. Results of research will be released within a period of 7 days, according to Dr. Chandima Jivandara, Director of Department of Immunology and Molecular Medicine, University of Sri Jawadanapura. Several patients infected with the Delta variant of the coronavirus have been identified in Sri Lanka. Dr. Jivandara further said that Delta variant is spreading rapidly in those identified areas. The Delta variant is twice as prevalent as the Alpha UK variant. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that the government is ready to accelerate the existing development projects and to begin new development projects. A special program will be conducted to monitor large-scale development projects. Measures have been taken to look into the progress of these projects through a finance ministry. Another Delta variant infected person has been identified from Jaliyagama in Kaduwa. It is reported that he is working at a construction institute in Slave Island area. He has been directed to the COVID treatment center in Polonnaruwa. Family members and 50 others have been quarantined and travel restrictions have been imposed to this area. That ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Parliamentarian Madhura Vithanage says that the government's party MPs have unanimously agreed to the entry of Basil Rajapaksa to the parliament. He has rendered a yeoman's service to build the country's economy since the year 2005. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight, residents say that several government buildings in the Galle district have been abandoned without making any use of. Some school buildings and the Jana Sadhu Institute are among them. The institutions have been closed down due to many reasons. Residents request relevant authorities to use the buildings for useful purposes. This was the attention of the District Secretary of Galle, and that came to you in Watchlight. On to world news. Outbreaks emerge across Australia's new phase of pandemic. US airstrikes in Iraq and Syria target Iran-backed militia. It is 1 year after national security law imposed for Hong Kong. A COVID outbreak in Sydney linked to the highly contagious Delta variant has grown to 128 cases. A small number of positive infections has also been recorded in the Northern Territory, Queensland and Western Australia. It's the first time in months that cases have emerged in multiple parts of the country at the same time. State and territory leaders will meet Prime Minister Scott Morrison today for an emergency meeting. President Joyce Frydenberg said Australia was facing a critical time in its fight against COVID, as various states shut borders and enforced new restrictions to prevent the further spread of the virus. The US has launched airstrikes against an Iran-backed militia in Iraq and Syria, the Pentagon announced. The strike hit operational weapons storage facilities in response to drone attacks by the militia on US forces, a statement said. President Biden has been clear that he will act to protect U.S. personnel, the Pentagon said. In the second round of airstrikes, Joe Biden has authorized against Iran-backed militias since taking office. U.S. forces based in Iraq have been hit several times in recent months by drone attacks. Iran has denied any involvement. Wednesday will mark 1 year since China enacted the national security law for Hong Kong. The Chinese government has tightened rules on freedom of speech and political activity, transforming a region once known for its freewheeling attitude. Security laws target what Beijing defines as perversion, acts of terrorism, and collusion with foreign forces. Hong Kong police say 114 people have been arrested on suspicion of violating the law. Back to the headlines of the world news. Outbreak emerges across Australia in new phase of the pandemic. US airstrikes in Iraq and Syria target Iran-backed militia. It is 1 year after national security law imposed for Hong Kong. Development news. 94% of the construction work of Package B project of the Khatnak Airport has already been completed. The overall construction work will be completed by the end of September. On to sports news. Kusal Janith Pereira believed that Sri Lanka's inability to get climatized to the tough English conditions caused their downfall in the 2020 National Series, which concluded in Southampton on Saturday. Sri Lanka suffered an 89-run defeat in the third and final T20 as England made a clean sweep after having won the first two games earlier in Cardiff, Wales. Sri Lanka captain revealed after the series that they knew it was going to be a tough series coming to the game and said, our batting wasn't up to the mark and that was our main issue. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SLT Mobitel has ramped up its service delivery to meet the nationwide increase in data usage and traffic that has nearly doubled since the onset of the pandemic. The company announced that an investment of over 25 billion rupees has been made annually in the past few years on infrastructure development, especially to roll out the fiber-to-house high-speed broadband network and the 4G LTE mobile BTS expansion. This is to facilitate an average of 30% growth in customer demand for data with each lockdown wave and to enhance the capacity, speed and bandwidth of internet users. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Animal husbandry activities in the southern province are being carried out successfully. The Livestock Products and the Health Department of the province said nursery assistants will be given developed infrastructure facilities for animal husbandry activities. That came to the Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul, Mathura, Kandy and Nureli districts. Showers shall occur in several places in the U and eastern provinces and the Mullaitivu district in the evening or night. That was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. It has been revealed it's a conspiracy propagating that there is no chemical fertilizer in the country. The government is not ready to import rice. The GCE A-level examination will be held in October. The government has spent more than 260 billion rupees to eradicate the corona pandemic. Vaccination program for senior citizens commences. And in world news, outbreaks emerge across Australia in a new phase of the pandemic. That in the news.